In a small town, a racist police officer crosses the line, targeting a black FBI agent's pregnant wife. It begins with a simple traffic stop, but things quickly spiral as the officer's personal biases turn dangerous. What he doesn't know: the woman he's harassing is no ordinary civilian. She's an FBI agent working undercover. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. As tensions rise, the officer and his fellow corrupt cops unknowingly become the focus of a massive investigation led by the very woman they've wronged. Her job is to bring down their corrupt department, and they have no idea she's already one step ahead. Will they discover the truth before it's too late? In the next episode, secrets will be revealed, and the truth will come crashing down. Stay tuned as 28 officers face justice in one of the biggest corruption busts in history. The officer, Officer Stone, had a reputation for being ruthless. He'd been known to target anyone who didn't fit his narrow view of what was acceptable. His biases ran deep, and his sense of power over others made him feel untouchable. When he pulled over Michelle, the pregnant wife of FBI agent Lisa Carter, it wasn't just a random encounter, it was personal. Stone had been lurking in the shadows, part of a larger network of corrupt cops who operated with impunity, harassing and bullying people they deemed beneath them. He had no idea that the woman he was threatening was about to dismantle everything he stood for. Meanwhile, Lisa was working in the shadows, gathering evidence against the very department her husband had once trusted. As the investigation unfolded, Lisa learned that the corruption went far deeper than she'd ever imagined, with officers turning a blind eye to serious crimes. Stone's reckless actions could soon be. Meanwhile, Stone's frustration was mounting. He had been playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and it was starting to get to him. He couldn't shake the feeling that Michelle was more than just a civilian, but every time he got close to proving it, she slipped through his fingers. But he was getting desperate. He had a plan. He was going to bring Michelle in for questioning. He was sure she'd break under pressure. What he didn't know was that he was walking straight into a trap, one Lisa had carefully set for him. As the investigation reached a boiling point, Lisa was faced with a terrifying realization. The department wasn't just corrupt, it was a war zone. Officers were turning on each other, alliances were shifting, and loyalties were fractured. Lisa knew she had to act fast, or everything she had worked for would come crashing down. Then came the moment that changed everything. Lisa received a tip from a trusted informant. A fellow officer had been caught selling intel to criminals. The evidence was irrefutable, but it came at a cost. The informant had also warned that Lisa's name had been linked to the case in the department's internal emails. It was only a matter of time before someone connected the dots. With Stone closing in and the clock ticking, Lisa was faced with a harrowing choice: expose the truth and risk it all, or pull back and protect her family, leaving the corrupt officers to continue their reign of terror. But there was no turning back now. She was too deep in. And as the final piece of the puzzle clicked into place, Lisa realized the battle for justice was only just beginning. Just as Lisa was preparing to move forward with a plan to take down the corrupt officers, the unthinkable happened. Her informant, the location was a quiet diner just outside of town. As Stone walked in, his eyes scanned the room, filled with suspicion. Lisa had already taken her seat in the corner booth, her face a mask of determination. When he slid into the seat opposite her, the weight of the moment hung heavily between them. "Do you know what you're in the middle of?" Lisa asked, her voice steady, though every part of her screamed with urgency. Stone stared at her for a moment, his mind racing. He had been unsure of where his loyalties lay, but the discoveries he had made over the past few days had shattered everything he once believed. The department, the people he had trusted, were all corrupt. And Lisa, Lisa wasn't just an innocent wife caught in the middle. She was the key to exposing it all. "I know more than you think," Stone finally muttered, his voice low. "But I don't know who to trust anymore." Lisa nodded. "Trust me. I've been trying to take them down from the inside. But someone's been framing me, and the officer you think you can trust is the one who set me up." Stone's eyes widened. "Who?" Lisa slid a piece of paper across the table, the name of the officer who had orchestrated the plot written in bold letters. Stone's face turned pale. His worst fears were confirmed. The corruption reached all the way to the top. He had known something was off, but he never imagined it could go this far. Before either of them could speak again, the door to the diner slammed open. A group of officers, including the one Lisa had just... As the police sirens wailed in the distance, Lisa and Stone exchanged a brief, knowing look. There was more work to be done, but for now, they had won. And yet the shadow of betrayal loomed, reminding them that even in the fight for justice, the true cost was often paid in ways they hadn't expected. The aftermath was brutal, but justice was finally within reach. Lisa and Stone managed to expose the entire corrupt police network, leading to the arrest of 28 officers involved in everything from drug trafficking to illegal surveillance. The community, shaken but relieved, began to rebuild, and Lisa's name was cleared. But the cost of her victory was high. Mark's betrayal left deep scars, and Lisa knew that no matter how much she'd fought for the truth, it had come with sacrifices she would never forget. Stone, now free from the corruption that had entangled him, chose to leave the force. His loyalty to Lisa, forged in the fire of their shared struggle, remained unwavering. As for Lisa, she returned to her family, but the darkness of what she'd uncovered would always linger in the back of her mind. Some truths, no matter how painful, are worth fighting for. But the battle, she knew, was never truly over.